Hello, and welcome to my channel. Thanks for coming around. If this is your first time here, allow me to introduce myself. I am a chronicler, and that means I tell stories. More specifically, I write accounts of important events so that they won't be forgotten. There's lots of stories on my wall, and I'll tell you a bit about the most important ones. Let's get started. Since you're here, you're likely familiar with the Halo universe. Well, most people don't actually know that after the events of the Human Covenant War, that continuum split off into two different paths. One path you already know, how the Master Chief saved us from the Didact and encountered the Created. But there was another path, one where the Master Chief never returned. But humanity still needed Spartans, so new generations were born, continuing the fight against any and all who would threaten the existence of humankind, from the remnants of the Covenant to tyrannical masterminds, ancient evils, and beyond. This path is known as the Spartan Legacy. It's full of heroics, action, perils, and drama. It tells the stories of not only the brave Spartans who lead the charge against evil, but also their allies and the foes they fight. It'll take you from our home of Earth to exotic locations like Installation 07, the re-terraformed planet Reach, and the mysterious Forerunner planet Cradle, and eventually to the farthest reaches of our galaxy. The Spartan Legacy is a story still being told. Only I know how it ends, and it's my job to write it down to make sure that these heroes and their sacrifices are never forgotten. But perhaps tales of super soldiers and aliens aren't in your tastes. Maybe you'd prefer something more lighthearted and relatable. Let me introduce you to the odd men out. On Green Team, there's the dictator-like Mac, the lazy Joey, the immortal Leo, and the childlike Tyler. On the other hand, you have the Orange Team, led by the bombastic Mailer, and including the eager Corey, the sarcastic Muppet, and the cheerful but creepy Flim. These 8 misfits have been stuck in a frozen canyon, fighting each other over the last batch of oil on Earth. Their initial story is simple, like the tales of old, but then, people begin to disappear, and mysterious strangers start to arrive in the canyon, and the odd men out find themselves caught in a series of events they never could have prepared for. Despite this, they'll continue to bicker and joke, but eventually, they'll discover that the best friendships are forged in fire. Odd Men Out is another story that I'm not quite finished telling yet, and there's a lot of great and strange things to come. Remember, every coin has two sides. On the opposite of comedy, you'll find darkness, horror, suffering, and one man fighting it all. The Bikeron trilogy is one of my older tales, long since finished, but it's one of my best. Bikeron is the story of Private Connor's battle against the Mind, a Lovecraftian entity with one goal, the domination of all life in the galaxy. As his friends and allies succumb to the Mind's power, Connor must face the darkness alone and fend off not only terrors from the outside, but from within as well. A chronicler's duty is to tell you these stories, but it can be beneficial to look back on them and see how they were formed. Lessons learned must not be forgotten. The Looking Back series lets you get behind the scenes of a production and learn the process through which it was forged and the trials that were overcome in order to make it. Sometimes you'll get the inside scoop from the cast and crew about what it was like to work on the production from their point of view, and they'll offer insight on the characters or their creation process. The creation of fantastic worlds and characters isn't always work. A lot of the time it's fun. The blooper reels are a collection of mistakes, gags, and spoofs for each production that showcase the lighter side of story making. If you're looking for a laugh, the blooper reels are a good place to find some, though beware, there may be spoilers if you haven't seen the relevant production yet. I try really hard to stay in touch with my wonderful, dedicated community. The fan mail initiative is a large part of this. I host fan mail once every few months or so, where I and a guest star, a character from one of my productions, answer questions and discuss topics submitted by fans. It's a lot of fun, and if you ever have a question, comment, or submission for me or any of my characters, you can submit it to chronicler177@gmail.com, or post it in the super cool fan mail channel of my Discord. If you'd like to join my Discord to keep in contact with me and the other members of the community, as well as receive regular updates on productions, there's a link in the description of this video. Tales of Heroism. The triumph of good over evil, and the ever-burning fire of hope. These are the cornerstones of my productions. Now that you've been briefed on what you can find on my channel, I hope you take a look around. Thanks again for coming, and remember, enjoy the show!